Welcome to a rather rainy, very rainy actually, Sunday evening in the UK. And I hear you shout at the video, what else do you expect? You're in the UK. Yes, well, this is England's green and great country, as they say in the song. Yes, but it is raining, it's been miserable. We've actually had quite good weather recently, but hey ho, that's where we are. Now, I apologise, I haven't been on this. I haven't made any videos for quite a while actually. Most people who have watched this channel know I'm involved in quite a lot of nastiness with an ex-partner. That has been taking a huge amount of time, as has work, who have had me travelling all over the shop. And just to prove that I look like a complete idiot when I'm travelling, this was a photograph of somebody took me when I was visiting a rather famous boat fairly recently. There you go. I had some time to kill, so I went and got on this particular boat and went for a tour. Here's another one in black and white of me behind the bar. Yes, I personally think I could quite easily audition there for the seventh part in The Village People. I am no Glenn Hughes though. And there's me being stuck somewhere else. There I look a bit like the fat controller in a hoodie. Yes, that really tells me I need to lose weight. I'm not in the right frame of mind, but that's what I need to do on a rather wet and soggy beach. There you go. Again, being stuck somewhere and waiting for a plane to bring me home. Those were. But we are where we are. So, this is probably going to be short and sweet. Because I've only really got one thing to sort of say. I haven't really been playing the keyboards, and you know, this one is covered in dust. It needs a damn good dust. I'm actually struggling with this one a bit in terms of actually finding a cover for it, because I don't really want to keep putting this thing up and down because it stresses the hinges and the ribbon connectors. But I do want to protect it in some way, so I am looking for a cover solution for it, because it is getting covered in dust, and I don't really like my keyboards covered in dust, apart from the fact they're horrible to play when they've got dust on them. Hence the reason why all the keyboards in the studio are all covered in those funky red covers that I've got, which people keep asking me about, funny enough, and you know, they are available. You can order them online. I have done videos on them in the past. So, you know, I'm sure the company will love you to go onto their website and order the covers, because the ones I get are 4mm padded. So it gives the keyboard a little bit of protection when you drop something on it. The other thing I've been doing, I've been mucking around with the samplers, which is why there is a VDU screen on the corner of the keyboard there. Samplers aren't in here at the moment. They've gone back down the studio. They went back down about a week ago, purely because I've been away again. And I got these came through this week, which are a complete set of tack switches for fixing the S50 sampler keyboard, which needs sorting out. So I thought I'd buy a brand new set of tack switches, and that's a project to be run probably in about 2 or 3 months' time. I've got a whole raft of projects that are just stacking up at the moment that I just am not getting the time to sort out. So there's a bunch of stuff that I really need to do. And the other thing you notice is if I go that way, you can see that the D-05 is in here as well. Now I was trying to sample that earlier on today, and I've managed to do it. But I have to admit one thing. I had to go and revert to the owner's manual. Now this seems a bit daft, because I'm quite versed in this instrument behind me. I'm quite versed in the Kronos, and in many ways they operate very, very similarly. However, I could not get this thing to do what I wanted it to do, and it turned out that I'd actually missed a step in the setup. It is so easy to do. These things are so menu driven. And so, you know, they're all driven by software. It's all menu driven, so you've got to make sure you switch on the right thing in the right place to make something happen. And that's what I failed to do. So it took me about an hour to actually figure out why it wasn't working. If you don't do this stuff all the time, then sometimes you just forget the steps, which I did quite easily. So that was an annoyance, but now I've done what I wanted to do, which is quite good. Anyway, the only thing I'm going to talk about this week is an eBay listing. And when is an eBay listing a good eBay listing, and when is an eBay listing a bad eBay listing? I suppose you sort of take your choice. I mean, with eBay, I look at eBay very much as buyer beware. Yes, eBay does put some policies and procedures in place for buying and selling stuff, but really eBay is buyer beware. You know, can you afford to spend the money and not get the goods you think you're going to get? That's sort of kind of the way I look at it really with eBay. Some you win, some you lose, but buyer beware anyway. Or as I did a video earlier on, caveat emptor. Anyway, this particular item was for a Roland Juno-106. It was from an American seller, so it was on the US version of eBay. It was for a Roland Juno-106, and it was up for, I think it was up for $1,050. Okay, it was listed as used and also not working, selling for parts. Okay, so I saw this come up, I saw it flash up, and this was about four-ish weeks ago, I suppose. And I looked at this and thought, I must talk about this on here. And the reason why I thought I must talk about this on here is because that was one of the pictures of the said Juno-106 not working. Okay, there is another picture of said Juno-106 not working, and it doesn't come out very easily on the picture, but if you very closely look at the picture around about there, you will notice that that board has got a kink in it. You know, what part of this Juno-106 is actually salvageable? There's definitely not £1,000 worth of parts or $1,000 worth of parts in there. You know, half the keys are in pieces. I mean, that is an utter travesty. I do not understand how people can let keyboards get like that. It really upsets me when I see keyboards in that sort of state. But then to have the balls, I mean, you know, the person has some balls. I will grant them that. To actually put that on eBay and try and sell it for $1,000, you know, that is phenomenal. I have to be honest. If some idiot paid $1,000 for that, good luck to them. That's all I can say, because there is absolutely nothing there that is salvageable. In my view, yes, you might be able to desolder some sliders off it, but you're not going to make your $1,000 back. It's very easy. And for the UK, you wanted another $200 to ship it to the UK. So, I mean, that's $1,200. Not a hoping squirrel. But, you know, when is a good eBay listing and when is a bad eBay listing? Well, for me, a good eBay listing is getting a keyboard that I've always wanted for a price I'm prepared to pay for it. And that's the other thing, is what are you prepared to pay for it? So, you know, I normally set myself, if I've got a piece of keyboard equipment, so, you know, looking at this thing here behind me, you know, I had in my mind how much I was prepared to pay for an Oasis if should one ever come up. And I more than exceeded the price that I was prepared to pay, in terms of I got it much cheaper than I was expecting to pay for this thing when I eventually got round to buying one. And it just so happened it came up. In fact, actually, when I bought this, the guy had a Fathom XR as well, Roland Fathom XR, and he didn't want a lot of money for it. The problem I have is I'm running out of storage, and I really did think seriously about buying the second keyboard as well, but I decided not to at that point. And I'm absolutely kicking myself for not doing it. But hey ho, you know, they're the decisions you make at that point in time. So that's what makes a good eBay listing for me. That eBay listing I just showed you there is utterly terrible. I also, you know, I hate it when people do not describe the condition of a keyboard. They just stick it on there with one photograph. You won't be getting a bid from me on that, because 9 times out of 10 the photograph they stick on there is a stock photograph. It's not the actual piece of equipment. You know, if you can't be bothered to actually list and describe it properly, then I can't be bothered to bid on it. I'm sure some muppet will, but I won't. But there you go. That's what makes an eBay listing a good or bad for me. But that was just terrible. That really was just terrible. Anyway, these are going to be sporadic for a couple of months. I do apologise for that, but that is the nature of where I am. If I can record some stuff, I've got a whole raft of questions on the channel that need to be sort of gone through and sorted out. But if I can record some stuff, I will record some stuff, and I will stick it on the channel. If I can't, I apologise, but bear with me, chaps. We're nearly to the end of the nastiness in my private life, so at some point I should be able to start getting back to recording these on a regular basis without being interrupted by solicitors and barristers and court dates and that sort of nastiness. Oh well. Anyway, I shall see you next time. Bye bye. So this is the point in the video where I turn around to you, my viewer, and say, if you enjoyed the content of this video, please give it a thumbs up. The way the Google and YouTube analytic engines work is that the more likes you get against a video, the more it gets promoted by YouTube and Google, and therefore more people with the similar interests to what you have and I have get to see this content. This channel is driven by my love of music technology. That's what it's called, the Music Tech Guy Thought. If you've got queries, want to ask questions about themes or issues I raise on this channel, please do put your comments into the comment section below the video, and I will try to address whatever issue it is you've raised or whatever question you've raised. If it's something to do with me making future videos in terms of how to do something on a particular piece of equipment I possess, please feel free to say that as well. I can't promise to make videos on all the requests I get, but I do have a jolly good go at making most of them. Around about here is the subscribe button. Again, to do with the YouTube and Google analytic process, the more subscribers the channel gets, the more the channel gets promoted, and the more people get to see the content that you have obviously just watched. If you want to see my latest video, it will be in one of these two boxes on this side of the screen. Also, there is a second box there, and that video will be chosen for you by YouTube based on your YouTube preferences. I look forward to the next time that we interact. And I do mean interact, because I always enjoy reading your comments back to me. But for now, bye bye.